Tipping Points of Climate Change, Where We Stand. Introduction: The Concept of Climate Tipping Points. In his monumental TED Talk, Johan Rockström highlights how Earth's systems are approaching dangerous tipping points that, if crossed, could cause irreversible damage to the climate. These points include the melting of polar ice caps, the collapse of the Amazon rainforest, and the degradation of coral reefs, among others. At CF, we believe that urgent action is needed to prevent these tipping points. Through targeted investments in regenerative technologies, sustainable agriculture, and renewable energy, SEF aims to restore balance to Earth's ecosystems. The time to act is now. Waiting too long could result in catastrophic climate changes, making it harder to sustain life as we know it. By supporting SEF, you can contribute to funding projects that help prevent tipping points from being crossed. Tipping Point 1: Melting ice sheets. Rockström's talk emphasizes the rapid melting of the Greenland and West Antarctic ice sheets. These vast bodies of ice regulate sea levels. However, due to global warming, they are melting at an accelerating rate. Scientists warn that if Greenland's ice sheet reaches a tipping point, it could lead to an irreversible rise in sea levels, flooding coastal cities and displacing millions. Tipping Point 2: Thawing permafrost. Permafrost, which covers large parts of the northern hemisphere, is another crucial climate tipping point. As the permafrost thaws, it releases stored greenhouse gases, particularly methane, which is much more potent than CO2. This process creates a dangerous feedback loop. The more the permafrost thaws, the more methane is released, further accelerating global warming. Tipping Point 3: The Amazon rainforest dieback. The Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the Earth, is critical for absorbing carbon dioxide. However, deforestation and climate change are pushing the Amazon toward a tipping point. Rockström explains that if too much of the forest is destroyed, it could switch from being a carbon sink to a carbon source, releasing massive amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere. Tipping Point 4: The disruption of ocean currents. Another tipping point involves the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, AMOC, the ocean current system responsible for regulating temperatures across the North Atlantic. There is growing evidence that the AMOC is weakening due to freshwater input from melting ice. If this system collapses, it could lead to drastic climate changes, such as harsher winters in Europe and shifts in global rainfall patterns. Tipping Point 5: Coral reef collapse. Coral reefs are another vital ecosystem under threat. Rising ocean temperatures and acidification are causing widespread coral bleaching, pushing reefs closer to collapse. Coral reefs provide habitats for marine life and protect coastlines from storms. Their collapse would not only disrupt marine biodiversity, but also have devastating economic impacts on communities reliant on fishing and tourism. How we can prevent crossing these tipping points. Rockström stresses that the window to prevent these tipping points is rapidly closing, but we still have time to act. Reducing global emissions, protecting critical ecosystems, and transitioning to renewable energy are essential to preventing these catastrophic changes. The Spaceship Earth Fund, SEF, is committed to supporting initiatives that mitigate these risks and promote sustainability.